Hey, it's Joy. I've got big feelings about little things, and I want to talk about it. Oh yeah, I'm mad about it. And the fact that everyone else is not up in arms about it is a big part of the problem. Oh, I bawled my eyes out, like I always do. It was the sweetest thing. Oh, it was the cutest thing. It was the funniest thing. Thanks for being here. Let's go. Hey, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. I'm having big feelings about insight this week, and I am excited to unpack it with you. Insight meaning, you know, as we age, we get a little bit wiser because we can see a little bit more in the rearview mirror, and we can see things under the bigger picture a little bit better than we could. And we get wise. And it's kind of a bummer because wouldn't it be great if you had the wisdom and the energy at the same time? Like, I look back to my 20s, I'm like, man, I had a lot of energy and I had a lot of fire, but I was also an idiot. And I love this space in my life that I love having a little bit of wisdom. I can't wait for like the next 15 years to really like sink into it. Some of the women that I know that are like in that space, like 10, 15 years ahead of me on the journey. Oh, I just can't wait. I can't wait to have that kind of wisdom. I'm excited about it, but I also am like, well, every day I get closer to that, my knees start to really fight me, you know, or, you know, I just wish I had the energy, the fire, the time, that sort of thing to go with the wisdom. But you trade off, right? One for the other. You get one thing, that means you're not going to get the opposite thing, or you're not going to get the complementary thing. And so as I'm like watching myself age and lose some of those physical like benefits, I'm really trying to focus on the positives that I'm getting instead. The wisdom, the insight, I can see around a couple corners that I couldn't see around when I was 20 years old. And so while I can't speak to her, I can speak to you. I can speak to, if you're a friend of mine, I can speak to your daughters. I can speak to your nieces, and I can speak to these younger women. Now, I'm sure somebody told me this when I was that age. Probably. It doesn't sink in as much until you have the weight of some of those years behind you, but we can try anyway. Wear something you look cute in. Take pictures of yourself. Your body's never going to be like this again. Enjoy it. And in all honesty, I wish someone had told me that and that I believed them enough to do it. I know you think you're the ugliest, you have the worst skin, you're the fattest, no one can see you, no one is attracted to you, no one ever will be. I know all the things that are in your head. But let me tell you something. The you in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, I know her. I am her. I know her. And trust me, she is going to look back at your pictures and be like, holy crud. Man, my skin had nothing but collagen. Nothing but. Everything was so far up, and I had no idea. I had no clue that I was glowing like that. I had no clue the plumpness that I had. I didn't know any better than to know that. I look so thin. I mean, I know what I was like, oh, I don't like this. This dress makes me look. Let me tell you what, that dress makes you look 17. And you look unbelievable. And in 30 years, that sweet girl is going to be 30 years older. She's going to be trudging along on the treadmill. She's going to have a true crime podcaster in her ear just trying to keep her going. She's going to have her big Stanley next to her that she never finishes. And God bless her, she's trying. She is spending unbearable amounts of money on supplements. Listen, you want to take me for everything I own? Tell me there's a supplement that will make my hair shiny and my face collagen-y and give me energy again. And trust me, they're all selling them. None of them work. Nothing is nothing. But they've all gotten at least like 2 months out of me. because I'm chasing that feeling that she didn't even know to be appreciative of. And I feel bad for her. She didn't know any better, but I'm just like, I'm serious about this advice to my friend's daughters. Like, I wish you had taken more pictures. I wish you had taken more pictures of yourself every single day. God bless. Just so that I could look back and say, you know what, I didn't appreciate it at the time, but look how gorgeous I was. And my only hope is that this 30 years later, this girl today can extrapolate this out and assume that as much as I pick myself apart every time I look in the mirror, every time I get on a Zoom call, every time I go to the Botox lady, every time I buy a bathing suit, every time, I can remind myself, hey, you're excellent at picking things out. You're excellent at being upset about how your roots look. You're excellent at finding every little flaw. You're excellent at highlighting every pore. But in 10 years, that lady is going to look back and think, oh gosh, I had so much energy. I just hopped right up out of bed. I don't exactly know what that feels like. I didn't exactly know what that felt like 10 years ago. But I do know I'm going to look back and appreciate it. So if I have the opportunity to, gosh, what did I do the other day that was like, I don't know if I'm going to be doing this in 10 years. I think it was, I was right. You know, those scooters they have out in the city? You scan your little barcode and you go. I got on one of those and did a little zip over, was having dinner with a friend and we zipped over to another part of town to look at something and then zip back and had dinner. Am I going to want to do that in 10 years? Am I going to feel confident in that in 10 years? Honestly, not sure, because I was a little sketchy that day. But if there's a little part of me that thinks, yeah, I can do it. I want to do it. I want to do this now. I do it. You kind of have to. Because I was such an adventuresome kid. I fought with my mom so hard about bungee jumping. I wanted to bungee jump so bad. And she said, no, it's not safe. And da-da-da. So I just secretly did it. And I came back and she was like, did you bungee jump? I was like, yeah. But that was so fun to me. My back would never forgive me if I went bungee jumping today. The snap of that thing down and pulling you back up, that's nothing about that sounds attractive at all to me. Nothing is appealing about that in the slightest. Dude, I used to want to jump out of an airplane so bad. It kind of still sounds fun, but I just don't know that my fear at this age would let me. When I was 25, I didn't really have any fear. You know, I didn't have that. But I don't know if I could do it today. You know, I'm seeing myself do less and less at like amusement parks and things like that. So if there's something I want to do, I do it. And all that is the wisdom of knowing what happened over the last 10 years and 20 years so I can project forward what's about to happen. So remind me of that, number one. Number two, let's teach our daughters better, okay? Let's teach them. Now, we don't have to create a fear. We don't want to swing so far the other way that we create a fear that aging is horrible and you're not going to enjoy it and you won't appreciate it. Let's not go that far, right? Because they may never be 17 again, but that's, you got some excellent years ahead of you. Excellent years ahead of you where you have a little bit of this. You have a little bit of brain stuff going on. When you got a little bit of insight going on. So you've got some great years ahead of you. And there's really no turning point where it's like, oh, it was going up, 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 and now it's all downhill. It's probably younger than we want to admit. So let's not and say we did. But in the other way, I went to a recent high school reunion. And let me tell you something. These women that I went to school with, most of them look better than they ever have. They are taking control. They are doing their thing. They know how their hair looks good. They know what clothes look good on them. They know how to do their makeup. And they also, may sound cliche, I don't know if it does, but they have a confidence that they have been through some stuff and they know who they are. And it is a heck of a great time seeing them and hanging out with them. And it's really easy to root for them. And it's really easy to clap for them because they're doing such big things. That's one thing I love about social media, despite hating everything else about it. Seeing people that I know that I grew up with or went to high school with or knew at some time in my life, seeing them at the top of their game and thriving and doing their things and having their beautiful lives and beautiful families and beautiful careers, it is a lot of fun. And these women particularly are aging so well. And they look great and they feel great and it's encouraging. But I'm going to keep that in mind for my future self. I'm going to be kinder to myself today. I need to be kinder to young Joy. I need to be kinder to future Joy. Probably should still keep taking those supplements, you know. If you find one that actually works. That's what I feel like the thing is. My friends and my family are great about not gatekeeping. Gatekeeping is this term that means, oh, I found this great, cool thing and I don't want to tell anybody about it because I don't want other people to have that benefit. I want to be the only one person that has collagen-y skin, or I want to be the only person that has whatever thing. And so not gatekeeping means just like sharing. Oh, I found this cool thing. This is helpful. This is how I do this. It's really amazing. Why don't you try this? Why don't you do this? My friends and family are great about it. They'll suggest something or tell me like, oh, I've been trying this. This is awesome. This is amazing. But at the end of the day, it's like if there was some fountain of youth somewhere, I mean, whoever owns that, they would be a big squillionaire. They'd be living like Oprah or living on a beach somewhere doing whatever they want because they sold out. They sold out for a million squillion. But here I am just scrolling Instagram like, well, do I need another supplement, you think? Maybe I'll try that one. But we'll keep going. We'll keep fighting the good fight. But every single one of us, and I don't just mean me as an individual and you as an individual and you as an individual. I mean the 17-year-old me, the 23-year-old me, the 29-year-old me, the 34-year-old me. Each one of us has something beautiful to offer. And it's not just a one thing. It's a vibrant grouping of all the things. Some years are going to be heavy on beauty. Some years are going to be heavy on wisdom. Some years are going to be heavy on experience. Some years are going to be heavy on like, hey, you just really worked hard this year. Some years are going to be heavy on like, hey, we had a good year in the stock market. You made some good retirement money. Everybody has a little bit different thing that's like a little bit heavier this time in your life than the other. So why don't we try to focus on the good? The positive, the thing what's the best thing about this person, myself at my age and my circumstance and what I've created for myself. And let's be grateful for that and be grateful that that person is going to turn a year older next year and have an additional thing to offer because of what we're doing now. Versus me chasing some collagen-y skin that I didn't even realize I had, which is impossible to get back. And even if I do, I'm going to look like a crazy person in between. So this is me getting accountability for starting to reshape and reframe how I think about myself and my body and how it's been over the years and how my wisdom is over the years, how my emotional intelligence is over the years, how all the things go together and add up and make me who I am. Somewhat easy to say, going to be very hard to live, but let's do that. Yeah. Let's be kind to ourselves. I truly think it will elevate how we feel, elevate what we're doing, and give a little bit of source of encouragement for all the hard work that we're doing, that you're doing. I think we can do it. Let's go.
Thanks for listening to Little Things, Big Feelings with Joy Delaney. I'm James, the producer, editor, director, and executive producer. Follow Joy on socials at Joy Delaney Cox on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Honestly, forget TikTok. I don't even know how to use
You
it
don't even
anyway.
know how to use it anyway.
James?
Follow Joy on socials at Joy Delaney Cox on Instagram and Facebook. See you next week.